Hi, my name is MAPP, and this is going to be the story about my life. One of my partners was nice enough to ask me to talk about where I come from. Renato. So I'm sitting here in the iconic, historic Grove Arcade in Asheville, North Carolina, in lovely Asheville, North Carolina. And this is the city that I was born in. I'm native to the city, and I love Asheville. Asheville is a beautiful place. I went to college in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I've traveled around the world a little bit. I've been to Europe. I plan on going to other countries like Africa, but so far I've learned that Asheville is one of the most beautiful places in the world. This year we are about a year out from surviving from Hurricane Helene. It was an eye-opener. It was a test of resilience and fortitude for everybody in the city. But let's go back to where I started. I was born in 1963. I'm 62 years old now. It's hard to believe. Time goes by so fast. One of the most precious things we have is time, and you learn that the longer you live. I also learned that, fortunately, early on in my life, I learned that eating healthy was important. I had a cousin come to town, Edward Gibson. He came to town and he kind of educated my mom on eating healthy. He advised her to stop using regular white sugar and things like that. We started using honey and things like that. But basically, I learned that eating healthy, you know, to stop eating foods that had parasites in them and things like that was important. So I'm in pretty good health for a 62-year-old guy. But going back to when I was a young boy, I was very interested in nature. I like to go fishing. I like to hunt for squirrels and rabbits. But I got past that because I quickly had experiences hunting animals that made me feel bad about being the hunter. So I still eat meat, but I'm not going to hunt it. But at any rate, growing up in Asheville, I was always impressed by people who had dreams and goals. And I like to be around those people. And those people encouraged me to find my purpose in life. As a young boy, I used to play with spiders and insects and stuff outside. I was born at a time before all the digital computers and iPhones and Androids and apps. I was born at a time when you would go outside and you would play with dirt. I had a sand pile where I used to build a city every day, because when I would build my little city, this was when I was about 5 years old, when I would build my little city, overnight the wind and maybe the rain or whatever would blow it away. So I'd have to rebuild it every day. So that helped me be creative about engineering type things, science. So I've always been very scientific. So growing up, my father played football. And I was not around my father much, but I admired his athletic ability, and I was born with some athletic strengths. And so I always was very athletic, riding bicycles. I used to like to put plastic cards on my spokes so that my bicycle would sound like a motorcycle. I had a lot of bicycle accidents because I used to like to try to do. Evel Knievel was a famous guy back in my day. He was a famous motorcycle stunt guy. He would jump over cars with his motorcycle. So all the kids would do that. So I was definitely into riding bicycles. One other thing that I need to mention is that when I grew up, there were bands, famous bands, not just famous singers. There were famous bands. So Earth, Wind and Fire was famous at the time, the Jackson 5, the Osmond Brothers. We grew up seeing young people playing musical instruments, especially the Jackson 5. That was one of the most influential groups in my life. There was another group called the Barcades. There were several groups, Mother's Finest. I loved all those groups, but I think Michael Jackson, probably the Jackson 5, had the most influence on us because they were young black kids and they were playing musical instruments. So our whole neighborhood, all the kids wanted to play an instrument for the most part. It seemed that way, at least my close friends. So we had a band from the time I was like 10 years old. My brother was 6 years old playing drums in our band. I didn't know how phenomenal that was until I got older and saw that 6-year-old kids don't usually play drums in a band and remember a whole playlist. But my brother was able to do that, Ernie. So anyway, but getting back to athletics, I played football I started football in middle school, and actually my uncle was one of the coaches. He also coached basketball, but he talked me into playing football because I wasn't going to play. He even gave me my football number 33, and Coach Payne was my actual coach, and Coach Payne was also the math teacher at the school I went to, the middle school that I went to. And Coach Payne is definitely one of my father figures because he was one of the men in my life that taught me that I needed to have a purpose. I needed to take life serious early. I needed to waste as little time as possible. And I started to respect that as I aged. Younger, I didn't catch on to it like I needed to. But at any rate, Coach Payne was very influential. He also made sure that I understood that good grades were important, preparing myself academically for the future was important. But anyway, I played in high school as well, and then I ended up, well, actually, I need to tell this story. On my way to football practice one day, my mother was taking me to football practice, and she asked me if I wanted to go to college. And I told her, yeah, I want to go to college. And she said, well, you better play some good football because I just looked at my finances and I don't think I can afford to pay for you to go to college. So that changed my perspective on why I was playing football. She turned football into a job even when I was in high school. So I really took football serious, and I ended up getting a football scholarship to Johnson C. Smith in Charlotte, where I majored in computer science and business and history. And I had a wonderful experience at Johnson C. Smith. I made some really close friends that became family. Because Johnson C. Smith was in Charlotte, I spent a lot of weekends back in Asheville, though, because I had my daughter. My daughter was born my first year in college, so I was a father as a freshman in college. So that helped make me more serious about education too, because I had a daughter to think about. And so college was a wonderful experience. It allowed me to get a taste of what being on my own was. And so I think that experience is an important one for all young people to have in some way. So, yeah, I played football at Johnson C. Smith. I was actually invited to a pro camp to try out, and I decided I didn't want to because I was tired of feeling the pain that came along with football, because I had a lot of ankle injuries and shoulder injuries and things like that. So I decided to pick a different path as far as career was concerned. Yeah, I really am glad that I was able to play sports, because it definitely taught me to get back up when I'm knocked down and never give up. And it's something that I think all children should experience in some way. Fast forward to when I graduated from college, I decided that I would put together a poster that would list all the inventors and scientists that I was surprised to learn about, that I didn't learn about in school. So I made a poster that started out being entitled the Black Miracles poster, because at that time the poster only listed African American Black inventors and scientists, because I never learned about these people who invented stuff like GPS, the camera lens, the photo process, gigahertz processing chip that made multimedia computers possible, the elevator, the list just goes on and on. And later I decided that I was impressed with all inventors and scientists, so I improved the poster and added all people regardless of what race they are. I have a poster now called Major Inventors and Scientists, and this poster is phenomenal. It definitely teaches people respect. It teaches people that they don't know who might make a contribution to their life, and it also teaches people that everybody is important. So I'm really proud of that poster, the Major Inventors and Scientists poster. I'm proud of the Black Miracles poster. We also have a poster called Miracles Happen, which is a collaboration of different scientists that have made contributions to our everyday life, scientifically. Having a purpose in life was something that I definitely always wanted to have, and my basic purpose in life is just to be a nice person, just to be a person who always tries to learn how to be better every day, how to get along with people, how to make a contribution, even if it's just making somebody smile or making their day better. I am the proud father of 6 children, 3 boys, 3 girls. I have 5 or 6 grandbabies now, so I've been reborn several times, and I'm very thankful for that. I now have started a business in Asheville. Since I love Asheville so much, I started a business called Lovely Asheville Enterprises. And what we do with this business is we promote Asheville as a beautiful tourist attraction, and in doing so, we encourage tourists to visit us responsibly, to help keep it clean, to really be careful with our nature, because we have black bears that will walk through the city. We have deers that will run up to your car and things like that. And so we encourage our visitors to be as careful with the animals as possible, and to try not to engage with them so we won't have an incident, because these bears can be dangerous. They've never hurt anybody ever in the history of Asheville that I know about, but we want to keep it that way. So we really encourage people to come to Asheville and enjoy the glamour of nature. It's what we say at lovely Asheville Enterprises. We also produced the first fall festival in the history of Asheville, the official fall festival, and the first festival with the name Asheville, with the word Asheville in the name of the festival. The lovely Asheville Fall Festival is a festival that we're very happy to be involved with putting together. We have some wonderful sponsors this year. Last year, Helene, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but last year, Helene came 2 weeks before the festival. So we had spent all year promoting the festival, buying advertising on multimedia, and ordering banners and things like that, making preparations for the festival. And just 2 weeks before the festival, we got hit with a hurricane, the storm of the century. I never thought a hurricane would reach Asheville, North Carolina, because we're way west of North Carolina in the Blue Ridge Mountains. In fact, we believed in Asheville that we were protected by the mountains from that type of storm. Well, we had an eye-opener that those storms can come wherever they decide to come. And so we were really challenged during that storm. But this year, a year later, we're still going to do the Lovely Asheville Festival. So this is our 4th annual Lovely Asheville Festival. It's going to be at Pack Square Park, right in front of City Hall. We have plenty of vendors, plenty of local artists that will be performing. I'm in a band called the Hypnotic Band, and we will be performing. And our festival will have a headliner called Detective Blind. Detective Blind is 3 sisters. All of them are teenagers, and they write their own music. They play covers as well, but they write some fabulous music, and we're really honored to have them headline the Lovely Asheville Fall Festival. They actually are born in Asheville, so to have Asheville talent in the festival is something we feel real good about. We also highlight local celebrities from Asheville that are now making movies, now playing in professional sports, now well-known authors, well-known songwriters, people like Nina Simone, Roberta Flack, Aaron Mills played bass for Cameo. We have Cameron Maben, who plays professional baseball. He's retired now. We have Leonard Little he's a Hall of Famer NFL player. So Asheville has a lot to offer in terms of presenting role models to the younger people so that they know what it takes to be a professional, what it takes to be one of the best. And so we really work hard to make these things obvious to the people in Asheville, because we want Asheville to stay lovely, and we want Asheville to stay progressive and talented, and we want Asheville to stay clean, and we want our animals to stay healthy. So we also have partnered with Greenworks of Asheville, because they work hard to actually keep the grounds and the waterways clean through donations and volunteers. I have to do more volunteering with them than I have. We also have partnered with Bearwise of North Carolina. They're part of the North Carolina Wildlife Association, and they are doing different things to help the community understand how to put trash away so the bears won't go into the trash and eat styrofoam and plastics and things like that. Because my concern is that these toxins might cause these bears to have some mental health issues that could make them violent. So we want to prevent that by educating the community on the safest ways to put trash away. So basically, I just want to be remembered as somebody who wanted to serve the community and be an example of what it takes to be a good human being. You know, I have a lot of work to do, but I still have some time. I'm 62 years young, and I'm loving life. I love making music. I love planning for the future, and I believe things can happen. So I look forward to seeing you at all the lovely Asheville Fall Festival celebrations that we have. It's an annual event. It's already set up for 2026, and we want you to participate. So I look forward to meeting you one day.
Mm-hmm.